Hey, what's going on everyone? Misha Wilson here and welcome back to my YouTube channel for the next video in our Stages of Growth playlist. Now, as always, if you missed the first couple of episodes, please be sure to go back and watch part 1 and part 2 of this playlist. This will only make sense if you watch the first 2 episodes, as within this presentation I'm sharing with you all of the various stages of growth from startup all the way to a 7-figure business with a live event presentation that I did on stage back in 2018. And once again, if you miss what I shared in part 1 and part 2, well, what I'm about to share with you here today might not make a whole lot of sense. So be sure you go back and check those out. I'll leave those links in the comments section below. And as always, if you guys get value, let me know what your biggest takeaway is in the comments section below. And don't forget to go ahead and hit that subscribe button, that bell icon notification button, and that thumbs up button below. With that said, let's go ahead and dive right in. So what was the next funnel in the overall ecosystem? The webinar funnel. So the Super Affiliate webinar funnel, here's what it looks like. We have a webinar registration pointed to a thank you page, and then from there we can go ahead and automate it once we have our winning webinar presentation. And of course we can promote our replay of that webinar that we go ahead and host, which if we host correctly should make us sales on a daily basis, especially when automated. So why webinars? Who in here is just kind of a little bit freaked out when you hear the word webinar? I don't know if I want to host a webinar, right? I'll tell you my story about my first webinar in a minute, but for now, you don't need to be on camera. If you can read, you can host a webinar because you're looking at slides and you're pushing a button, going through slides, reading words off a slide. That's really all it is. We play it up to be this big thing because we're presenting. It's not like this where I'm actually here in front of you and I can see you and all that. It's very, once again, simple once you get the hang of it and once you get out of your comfort zone and go ahead and get yourself over that hurdle. Webinars are the best medium in order to go ahead and create bigger paydays selling core offers anywhere from $297 all the way up to $997 in an intimate fashion that's still one-to-many. So webinars are extremely powerful because you can have 200 people on the webinar and you can still talk in a one-on-one manner with them. You can address people by name, you can answer questions to people, you can be very personal with people. That creates engagement, and if you do things correctly on your webinar, that will help with overall sales. It allows you to leverage bonuses most effectively as an affiliate using scarcity. So there's nothing more powerful than getting a lot of people on a webinar, hosting a webinar, offering really good bonuses as an affiliate, and then at the very end of the webinar, saying that the bonuses disappear forever. If your bonuses are compelling enough, people will take action and buy, and they'll get off the fence right then. It builds the goodwill bank with your list and makes sales simultaneously, meaning that it builds a relationship up with your list, and your list actually looks forward to hearing from you more when you host webinars, and it also simultaneously makes sales. So usually you're doing one or the other. You're sending to a video, which builds goodwill, or you're sending to a sales message, which depletes the goodwill bank. With webinars, you're doing both simultaneously, building the goodwill bank and making sales. It instantly positions yourself as the leader and the authority, and again, puts you in a category of being one of the top earners, whether or not you are or not. Now, who in this room is hosting webinars? I don't know if people are in here right now. I see Chris and Susan in the back. Who else in this room hosts webinars? I see Tyson in the back. I think Tyson hosts webinars. Keisha's in the back. She hosts webinars. The top earners host webinars, all right? So the minute that you start that process, people perceive you as the authority and people will naturally tune into you more and your list will be more responsive. Now, my aim when I was an affiliate was to host one webinar within the first week of having an influx of leads come into my process. Or you can set it up to be automated to play all the time to your new leads. But when a new lead comes into your world, you don't have much of a relationship with them. They're not super warm yet, and the fastest way to take that traffic from cold to warm to being a buyer is to host a webinar, get personal with them, get them on a webinar, offer some really good bonuses as an affiliate, and go ahead and make a sale. Does that make sense? Yes. Awesome. With webinars, the principle is very simple. Ready, fire, aim. You'll never feel ready to host your first webinar. I did not feel ready to host my first webinar. My first webinar that I hosted, I promoted the crap out of it for like a week, which was a mistake looking back, because shorter promotional cycles work better. I promoted my webinar for a week. I had like 150 people registered for the webinar. I ended up having like 10 people on the webinar when I went live. And I was a chaotic, nervous mess for the first 10 minutes or so. And then I started to mellow out as it continued on and kept going. By the time I got to the actual offer when I was making a sale, guess how many people I had on? I had one person on, and the only reason they were on is because they wanted a refund of something they had bought the week before. And so I'm on there answering Q&As saying, yeah, I'll give you a refund, just email my customer support, which is actually me, but email my customer support and we'll take care of it. We've all played that game, right? Needless to say, that was an epic fail, and that night I went out and ate a little bit too much Mexican food and some ice cream and watched a couple of movies. But I kept going, and I kept taking action, and I kept hosting webinars. And to date, my record webinar is just under $100,000 from one 90-minute webinar presentation. So 90 minutes, and I also only created this offer on the fly. So it was an offer I had an idea for, probably on about a Saturday night. I put together a little campaign that started on Sunday. I hosted the webinar on Thursday, $100,000 in a 90-minute period. Now, once again, results not typical, income disclosure, income disclaimer. I don't know what you're going to do, but at the end of the day, I want to illustrate to you the power of webinars when you go ahead and host them correctly, because they can completely and totally transform your business if you do. Now, who wants to learn the formula to crush it with webinars? It's actually very simple, all right? The first thing you do is you identify what's hot in the marketplace. So go where the attention already is. So go for the topics that are already top of mind. What are people already thinking about? List building. People are always thinking about list building. Facebook ads. People are thinking about Facebook ads. Bitcoin. People were thinking about Bitcoin last year a lot, right? Go where the attention already is. Teach about an hour's worth of content on that webinar, and then go ahead and give the done-for-you solution to that thing that you taught on. Now, this takes some creativity in creating the offer or having a really good offer that you're promoting as an affiliate. But once again, that's the formula that I've used. That's the exact formula that I used when I hosted that $100,000 webinar. Within this process, you're selling people what they want and you're giving them what they need to increase your sales and income. Does that make sense? Awesome. So that's the webinar campaign. Once again, pretty simple. Usually webinars, when I work with people, it's more about getting people out of their own way, and getting people out of their own way in the context of being a perfectionist about webinars. Keisha was promoting our stuff and doing really well, and then all of a sudden, I didn't see her promoting our stuff very much, and I was going, Keisha, like, what's up? And she's like, I finally started hosting webinars. I'm doing a webinar like twice a week, and I'm making $2,000 a webinar. And so now Keisha's doing webinars, and she's doing small little webinars. She's crushing it with the formulas that we've taught her, and she's not even selling our stuff. She's selling other stuff, and she's selling her own stuff, which is what I like the most, when people actually go out and create their own offers and sell their own solutions to problems in the marketplace. And again, once you get out of your own way, it'll be one of the most fun things you do in your business. Lastly, multi-channel follow-up to your bulk bin leads. So throughout this process, people will come in, they'll opt into your capture page, your simple affiliate opt-in funnel. You then want to host a webinar or have them go through an automated webinar campaign. And then after that, the lead should go on a list, which I like to call the bulk bin. Essentially, it's a list that you're going to mail every single day, you're going to mail really often, and you're going to continually go ahead and offer different services, promotions, offers, build the goodwill bank with, etc. So what's needed to effectively go ahead and execute upon multi-channel follow-up? The first thing is an authority website, all right? A fancy word for a blog, but it's a positioning tool that'll go ahead and turn you into the hunted versus the hunter. Secondly, a consult funnel. It's the most effective way to go ahead and get your people on the phone, become more personal with people, become more intimate with people, and therefore close a little bit of higher ticket, more expensive sales. And then third, regular webinars, which we just touched on.